For those of you who missed it earlier today, the governor of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, put on a clinic on how you deal with the left. He traveled to the belly of the beast, Miami-Dade County, more specifically, Miami-Dade College, and conducted about an hour-long press conference. And there were those who were lying in wait for him to protest and cause all sorts of trouble. The governor's intelligence apparatus is so sophisticated that they identified the people before the governor even came out. And they went and they removed them and they caught all this on camera. You can see all of this at the live that we put up earlier today. But there was about a 3-minute segment that I made in a video from that press conference that I uploaded a few hours ago. And I just want to play a small 30-second clip to show you exactly where the state of Florida stands vis-a-vis the Biden administration.
So I just want to be very clear, as long as I sit in the chair in which I sit, no Floridian will be restricted, mandated, or locked down in any possible way.
Apparently, there's some things going on up north where they're starting to want to revisit 2020 all over again, and the governor made it very clear. We govern ourselves. Period. We don't care what Joe Biden says. We don't care what Washington, D.C. says. And let the chips fall where they may. Now, the real story that's out today is being missed. It has to do with the planet Neptune. Now, let me see if I can zoom out and get Pluto in here because I still recognize Pluto as a planet. But if you go to the outer solar system, way beyond Uranus, the next planet out before Pluto is Neptune. And there's a very strange story coming out of the left about something happening on Neptune. Neptune just experienced an unexplained temperature shift. Well, you see, it is explained. They just can't explain how they got it so wrong. Now, of course, this is facts for CNN. CNN, we know, always tells the truth. They never lie about anything. The most distant planet in our solar system, second most, has presented a new mystery. Astronomers observing Neptune for the past 17 years with multiple ground-based telescopes tracked a surprising drop in the ice giant's global temperatures, which was then followed by a dramatic warming trend at the planet's south pole. Dramatic warming trend at the planet's south pole. Sound familiar? Neptune, which orbits the sun at a distance of 2.8 billion miles, experiences seasons like Earth does. They just last much longer. 1 year on Neptune lasts for about 165 Earth years. Now remember, that's longer than they've been tracking, quote-unquote, man-made global warming. So a single season can last around 40 years. Now, this is about the time they have been tracking man-made global warming. It's been summertime in Neptune's southern hemisphere, they assume, since 2005. Astronomers decided to track the planet's atmospheric temperature once the southern summer solstice occurred that year. Nearly 100 thermal images of Neptune taken since then showed that much of Neptune gradually cooled, dropping by 14 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Celsius, between 2003 and 2018. Quote, "This change was unexpected," said lead study author Michael Roman, a postdoctoral research associate at the University of Leicester, in a statement. "Since we have been observing Neptune during its early southern summer, we expected temperatures to slowly be growing warmer, not colder." Then a dramatic warming event occurred at Neptune's south pole between 2018 and 2020. And temperatures rose by 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This warm polar vortex completely reversed any cooling that occurred before. This kind of polar warming has never been seen on Neptune until now. It's never been seen, period. And of course, they show this blurry image, and then of course, it's a little bit lighter in this second picture. Quote, "Our data cover less than half of a Neptune season. So no one was expecting to see large and rapid changes," said study co-author Glenn Orton. Images were taken using European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope and all this kind of stuff. But for now, they have considered that the unexpected changes could be due to a number of factors. What's one of those factors? Random variability in weather patterns, or even a response to the 11-year solar activity cycle, may have an effect, So they have an answer. They just don't want it getting out. They have an answer. But what are they going to do? They're clearly going to blame Neptunian SUVs. Space SUVs. That's the problem. Burning all of these excess resources, being selfish and not saving more for the next guy. Clearly, that's going to be the problem. I mean, regardless of whether it's earthhow.com or weather.com saying, hey, maybe we need to look at this differently, it's going to be all the grease in the bearings on these big space SUVs that gets blamed. I mean, shouldn't our interstellar allies be more conscious of the environment in our solar system? Shouldn't we make them purchase carbon credits? It's funny how when people talk about wanting to conserve petroleum or get away from non-renewables, they don't talk about the grease in the bearings, the transmission fluid, the power steering fluid, the brake fluid, the coolants that are all made from petroleum that you would still need, even if you have your quote-unquote electric car. Neptune's cooler than we thought. Astronomers find its temperatures underwent rapid, unexpected changes. Weather Channel India. It's just mind-boggling. They know the answer. They know what the reality is. It's right in front of them, but it's just politically inconvenient to talk about it. You see, they would rather distract you and say, wow, we need to build more telescopes to prove something that we already know. You see, this is what it's all about. You see, this is the future of manhood right here. See, ladies out there who are listening, aren't you going to be so excited when your man comes to pick you up in his teal trousers and light brown shirt with his teal sweater, in his, what's the term they use? Environmentally conscious whip with these pretty teal balloons? Are you going to go run and jump into his arms and be so excited about the man that you're around? Of course, you're not a biologist. Unless you're a trained biologist, you can't really assume that. So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. But speaking of things to be excited and happy about, this is Chase Masterson. Now, those of you who are familiar with the Star Trek franchise will recognize her from the character Lita. But she's also a singer and an actress, and she's been in many, many things. And I would just like to give her a shout out at the end of this video for not participating and playing along with the hijacking of the Star Trek franchise into this new woke culture. For those of you who've been, unfortunately, watching Picard, the new iteration of Star Trek, or Star Trek Discovery, you'll have noticed a nauseating change, that they have called back all of the old characters to reinvent themselves as some new genderly, sexually confused version of themselves. It's really terrible, but Chase Masterson has not played along with this. She has continued her career and not decided to go play apologist. So I would just like to say thank you to her for standing strong and sticking with logic. Her character was one that many thought was inappropriate for the franchise. She was what they called a Dabo girl at the space station, Deep Space Nine, and there was a bar that had gambling, and she was one of the very, very pretty girls that would bring drinks and work the basically the roulette wheel, the space roulette wheel. But she has not understood, or maybe she understands and just knows better. But I got to be careful what I say, because of course it's YouTube. But this has basically been her reaction to the new woke Star Trek. So I just wanted to leave it there. ChaseClub.com fan club, would highly recommend. Great singer, believe it or not. She's got albums out, and she's been in a lot of other stuff too. She has Chase Masterson as her stage name. I'm not going to give away her real name here, but you can find it if you dig around here through her bio and stuff. But anyway, thank you to everyone also who has signed up over Patreon. Very much appreciate it. We're going to be looking more into the incident from Fort Stewart in Georgia and talk about a great many other things. Count them, $1 US per month. It's like 3 pennies a day if you sign up for an entire year at one time. 3 pennies per day. Helps support me, helps support the investigations that we do that we can't really talk about in public. Once again, those of you who are already there, thank you very, very much. It makes a great difference in my life. I feel very blessed to be able to do it. And I guess what we will leave with is still waiting. We are still waiting for that La Palma volcano tsunami. I mean, I was told it was guaranteed. A lot of us were told it was guaranteed. On its way. Still not here yet. We'll leave it there. God bless from the sovereign free state of Florida. Like, share, subscribe.